live. Yay! Google's live. Google gets our Hangout Road show on the air, or on the road, or on the show, or whatever it does. Sam and Lara and Brent and Bill are here. It's Monday morning. It's morning here. It's Monday in most parts of the world, I guess. Confusing. Modern Fowler Scrum. Bill was first in. Bill, how are things going with you?
I've been slowly working through, trying to finish off this the MOOC coursework. I've been stuck on the homework, and Chapter 8 was a right pain as well. But I think I got most of it. I'm halfway through the homework, but I'm sure I found some errors in Chapter 8. I'm not sure if something's changed or if I was doing it wrong. But I'm sure
something changed rather than you doing it wrong is probably the answer.
Yeah, something to do with the receive method when you're doing the whatever the hell it was. I can't remember. It caused me some right headaches.
Yes, I think it is one of the most complicated parts. We could even have a look at that at the end of the Scrum if you were interested.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything blocking you, or any other plans?
Just trying to finish it off is what's blocking me.
Right. Well, and indeed, maybe we can help you out with that at the end. Good show. I see Alishan is here as well. Wonderful. But Brent is here as well. I think. Thank you, Bill. Great report. Let's go on to Brent. How are things going with you?
Pretty much the same frustration as Bill, I think, over the week. Okay. I had the same issues, that what the book says isn't what actually happens, and it really confused me. Apart from that, I managed to get some more work done on the charity API. Got all the tables now implemented.
Wonderful.
And I also have made some more progress with the click-through feature on local support. No blockers, except I'm just struggling through this this Chapter 8.
Okay.
And that's me. Thanks.
All right. Yes. Well, definitely sounds like Brent and Bill. We can have a look at that together at the end. Yes. Let's go on to Lara. Hey, Lara, how are things going with you?
Hey, all right, and you? Just from my side, I've just been reviewing the AdWords for Agile Ventures, just in terms of making sure that we're compliant with the new Google grant standards. So I'm still busy reviewing that. But no blockers from my side. Just thought I'd pop in and say hello because it's been a while.
Yeah, great to see you. Wonderful, absolutely. And we actually happen. Joe's free for a meeting. I don't know if you're free at the top of the hour, but we might do a little marketing catch up there. If you're free, no pressure. If you're not.
Yeah. I will be driving, but I'll join in on my phone.
Right.
So it'll be fun.
Lovely, wonderful, great. Thank you, Lara. Alishan, how are things going with you? Hey, Alishan, how are you doing?
Yeah, hi. No, I'm just here to listen. I just want to see how this works. So.
Yeah. Oh, great stuff. Yeah, I see that you also shared with me the Node.js app. I'm afraid I haven't had a chance to look at that yet, but we'll see if we can maybe get to that at the end of the Scrum after we've looked at Bill and Brent's things. Great stuff. Thanks, Alishan. Then that's, I guess, also me to update. So I've been, I've actually been working through the premium member API system this morning, and just trying to make sure all the data is consistent. I'll be making some progress there, but can see that there's a lot more work to do. Other things, I'm trying to build a shed in my spare time before Christmas. That's another story. Am I blocked by anything? I don't think so. Kind of good progress. We've got the first alpha version of the Anthony Powell Society membership database is out. They've got the alpha version. There's already some feedback, but I think we're kind of well on, and if not ahead of schedule there. So I'm going to sort of switch gears and try and keep on focusing on website 1 this week. What else? We've got the web dev mob that was going to be today has been moved off, so we might have this marketing meeting at the top of the hour, which marketing catch up forever is available. Then we've got the Autograders client meeting, top of the hour after that, and then we've got the Agile Ventures community meeting, 5:30 p.m. UTC. Not a huge lot on the agenda, but I did actually over the weekend apply for this Pineapple Bitcoin Fund. Apparently some person who's got like over 5,000 Bitcoins is just going nuts giving out money to charity, or Bitcoins to charity, which of course, in a couple of months might be worth 0, but I thought I'd get in there on the off chance. It was only a 3-page form. So we'll see where that all goes. I think also Will is setting up for a blockchain mob on Wednesday, which is exciting stuff. I think that is our Scrum, unless there is anything else that have we missed anything else we need to coordinate as a group?
I just had one question on the the paying project we're working on. I've forgotten the name.
Anthony Powell.
Anthony Powell, sorry. I haven't got to doing the new wireframes, but what I was thinking, because it's confusing them, I thought I might just take the two options I've done and put color into it so it looks modern, and then just do a proper design and not do wireframes, because it just confuses them.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, I think this is Pay Project Anthony Powell Society. Yes, I think they are. They're also. I think they're all of an older generation, and yeah. So I think whatever you think is the best way there. Yeah, I'm hoping that just another round, and they will kind of just bite the bullet. But we'll see.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Okay. Yeah, well, let's then. So Scrum over. If you don't want to hang around, not a problem. It's always good. No one should feel compelled to be here. But Brent and Bill have been trapped on the same problem relating to Chapter 8 of the textbook, of which I am the editor. And I think we should, as we find, probably the textbook may be to blame, and I'll need to fall on my sword in traditional Japanese style. But can we identify? So I've got Chapter 8 up here of the textbook. Was there a particular code snippet that you were working through that was causing the problem?
It was chapter 8.2.
And
it's the first it. It's when you implement the first it block, basically.
Okay. Is that the same for you, Bill?
Possibly. I can't remember what that chapter looks like.
Oh, not to worry. But yeah, I guess there seems to be here where's it gone? Is that this one here, Brent?
No, it's further on. It's when you actually implement line 5. So that it.
Right. So in this 5, and then have we got another gist?
Yeah.
That? Let's see.
Keep going.
8.2. Well, that's now into 8.3.
It must be 8.3.
8.3. This one here. This.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have a C9 instance, or even locally? Do you have this running somewhere in context?
I do have it running locally. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could just bring that up and share your screen, then we could have a quick look at. When you run this, it does something different from what the book describes, basically.
It did, yes. It doesn't now, but I'll explain when I'm sharing my screen. So. Here we go. So this is move forward now. But basically the line that was a problem was this one.
Okay.
So it explicitly calls out in the book that the idea of this is that you don't actually have to have this find in temp created. You don't. It's not even. You haven't even defined the method.
Yes.
However, if you don't define the method, so if I go quickly to here, so I have actually stubbed it out because that's the only way we could get it working.
Yeah.
So if I was to just do that now and then go and
run it, you get an error saying probably that it doesn't exist and it doesn't like that.
Yeah. So it's like, what's the point of mocking it out when it's saying that it does not implement it?
So I think that's a change in our spec where there's this concept of verifying doubles. So which used to be an option and is maybe now a default. So is what that is, and I think that's so we've got the concept of this. So there is, I'm going to find it. There's a thing that you can. So I think it's this. So if you go to, so I mean, presumably with this is Rotten Potatoes is one that you've created locally. You did like Rails new and installed all the stuff from the beginning, right?
Yes, although this is, I think I'm working on the back of one of the last own work, so it wasn't actually created from scratch.
Either way, but if we look at the gem file, what version of RSpec are you on?
think it's 3.6 or 3.7.
Yeah, which is yeah. So if you now go, so if you go into the spec folder and go into the spec helper, and so if you just search in, there you go. So just there, line 40. Can you see it says verify partial doubles?
Yeah.
So if you turn that to false, and then try rerunning.
Yeah, I'll need to just. Yeah, that seems to be working.
So basically, that it's interesting. If you go back to the spec folder there, I noticed that the spec helper.il. If you read the text around it, it says prevents you from mocking and stubbing a method doesn't exist. This is generally recommended and will default to true in RSpec 4. So I think it's interesting. I guess that then I mean that spec helper is probably generated as part of the RSpec Rails thing, gem that's been added, and so I think it's one of those things where like probably it looks like RSpec is not yet setting it to true by default, but it seems like maybe I would guess there that RSpec Rails has recently just they've decided to like right, well, let's make it true, and so it comes down to the book is out of date in terms of like what happens if you work with a Rails system where you kind of RSpec Rails is on the latest version. I guess because I assume that spec helper.rb file was generated as part of the RSpec Rails install. Although you're saying, do you remember if you ran RSpec Rails to generate methods on this locally, or if that was already there?
No, that's the first part of the chapter. Is you do the bundle exec Rails generate, whatever it is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So can we look at what version of RSpec Rails you end up with there? So if we look in the gem file.
So I'm using the same version of Rails, so 4.2 whatever, and
yeah, but there's a separate gem that's an RSpec Rails gem that is the thing that I think actually generates those individual files.
It's not 3.42.
I thought Rails.
But it's RSpec Rails, I think, it's rather than Rails RSpec. So there you go. Yeah, 3.4.2 RSpec Rails. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the difficulty with a book like this that's got specific code examples for, a moving landscape is, unlike the assignments to an extent, which I have the gemfile.lock in them, these ones that talk you through doing it is that this will have worked correctly in the past, but, it's out of date. So I wonder if the RSpec Rails, So I mean, was that the only sticking point, or there are other issues?
I had that same problem, but I'm sure there was another problem which threw me.
Oh yeah.
For the life of me, I can't now remember where it was in the book. It was later on in the book.
Oh yeah.
It's at least the next section somewhere.
Brent, was there anything else for you that was an issue?
No, because I've only got past that. There was a silly mistake with one of the GIS where this was just fake results instead of @fake results.
Okay, that's something that we can maybe quickly fix, since I think I probably have access to the gist. Well, maybe. Let's see if we can find that. I guess, Bill, you don't have the book or the code that you're working on to hand.
I've got it to hand.
Do you want to have a quick, while I'm just sorting out this gist issue?
I was looking through it, see if I could find it.
Yeah. God,
I think it's part of 8.5 where that issue was.
Right.
It's where you start to refactor it.
Is that here?
Yes, it is. Look, line 13.
Yeah, there it seems to have fake results.
No, so it must be further on than this. It's when you pull that out into a before block.
I'll have to just step away. I've just got someone at the door. I'll be right back. Hang around, and we'll see if we can fix Bill's thing as well. All right. Sorry about that. We're looking through.
Oh, I've got somebody at my door now. 2 seconds.
Well, was it the same person? How are they getting from London to Nottingham so quickly? Oh, right here. So it looks like this one is where that error is. So I'll see if I can. I don't know if we. Yeah, and I guess I can't. Yeah, so we've got this person has highlighted a bug there, and yeah, so I'm just gonna. I'll pass that on to Armando. It would be nice if these GISTs were actually associated with the SAS book so that I could copy them. Okay.
You found it. Yeah, because somebody else commented on it as well.
Yeah.
You mean the @ symbol?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't take long to figure out, but it just was.
A second.
I mean, that just throws up a local variable error, is it? I think it's
Yeah, local variable, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it was easy to find, but it was just.
It was that to receive because I googled that and I couldn't find any explanation, so I just cheated and implemented the method, just stubbed it, and I thought, oh well.
Yeah.
And we've done.
well, and indeed, arguably, that's a better approach because I mean, part of the reason why these verifying doubles have been added is because there's always that danger that you just slightly you stub it, you slightly misspell it, it all works, and then you don't notice it until you get much later on to this situation. Yeah, so it's verifying doubles are kind of standard, and really we should adjust the chapter. So I mean, there's just really what we're talking about is doing a version 2 of the textbook next year. That's going to be a complete rewrite of certain parts. But yeah. So Bill, did you got an inkling of the later issue that you had?
Well, there was that one you were just talking about in the fake results one.
Yeah.
There was some minor thing. I mean, there was something else. For the life of me, I now can't remember what it was, but it stumped me for a while.
Oh, okay.
There was one other typo, I think, in the book somewhere, I believe, but it wasn't any issue.
No, you got over it. Yeah.
It's just the homework I found the hardest trying to get my head around.
Okay, right. Yes, and so we'll meet on Friday, and we can look in more detail at the assignment, and if the thing from the chapter occurs to you, we can go back to that. Obviously, it is kind of it's frustrating when there are those issues and typos and different things that kind of like make you question, is this am I not understanding? This is the big problem. I think it's like there's an error and you're like, is this because I'm not understanding something, or is it because there is some kind of error with the code? And when you start to know that there are errors in the code and whatever, you're kind of constantly second guessing yourself, and it's yes, it's a challenge. So is there anything more? I'm also very happy to give you help conceptually with the assignment if you want to dig into it now, Bill, or leave it till Friday. What do you prefer?
Well, I've figured out. I mean, the idea you were talking about last Friday of being able to, do the cucumber test and do the RSpec and then try and build it out. I've just found that impossible. Try and think of it that way and trying to work it that way. I've been working through. I've got the cucumber, but then I've tried doing some of the RSpec tests, and I'm just finding them failing, even though the code that I've created to pass actually does work and does what I expect it to do. The RSpec, I just can't get my head around getting it to work, especially with using doubles and stuff.
Sure.
In the RSpec, sometimes I just find it easy just to create the object.
Sure.
I'm assuming we want to be using doubles and mocks and stubs and stuff.
I think in certain circumstances, that's all, again, it's these sort of religious things to an extent. Do you want to share some specific code so that we can have a look at that, or should we just sort of empathize and come to it another time? What do you think? I'm very happy to give you specifics on bits of RSpec that you're stuck on, because I think that's definitely something I can give help and support on if you're interested.
Let me see. Where was it?
Yeah. I guess while you're bringing it up, I'll just for Alishan, who's patiently listening there. Alishan has created his own Node app.
Carry on.
There's a Node app in the background, which is interesting there. Yeah, I think yeah, I can see you've got your app there, Alishan. I may not have time to kind of give it a really thorough review, but we do have several Node apps in use in the Agile Ventures or Agile Ventures projects, Async Voter, the bot systems, and so on. So you can join those channels and get access to repos where you can see examples of how we've got our Node apps set up. Probably the Async Voter is the one that's going to be most similar. But yeah, getting sort of priority reviews on code from me is what the premium membership framework is sort of for. So it's unfortunately I've got so many different premium members with issues and things to address. I'm gonna have to prioritize them this week. But maybe I'll just invite you into or was it your sir? That's it, sarcastic. That's right. I'm going to invite you into that channel, and that might be a useful. You can see we've also did that automatic welcome there came from one of our Node bots. So that might be the fastest way for you to be kind of thinking about your Node app versus how is it laid out versus. Of course, in the Node environment, there's even huger range of different ways of structuring one's app, I think. So saying which is right or wrong is challenging. But yeah, Bill, did you have that code?
Yeah, let me see if I can share.
Yeah, share your screen, and we'll.
I'll never get this right. Let me see if I can do it. There, is that working?
It says it's coming. Yep, it's there. Yep. Okay.
So you can see my.
I can see your movie. Mine. Yeah, got to the movie has a defined director. Yeah.
Right, so at the top, where I'm saying, as it described, calls the model method.
Mm-hmm.
So in the before statement, I was trying to create doubles, but I gave up with that.
Okay.
I just went
old-fashioned
way and basically just created two objects. So
in the database, yep.
So they're my test database. So I grabbed them here. Come to here, movie has a defined director. And I'm saying, I'm not sure if this is right, but I took part of what was in the book and tried to just rewrite it.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, movie to find similar movies.
Yeah.
With an ID of 1. And I should get, it should redirect me to this path with that object. So I expect to assign to then receive or to have a movie, an array of movies, which should equal the movies I grabbed up here. But this is nil. This is part.
Yes.
I don't understand as to why.
Sure. Well, and I think I can explain that. I think it also what we might want to do is have the spec and the movies controller side by side. So if you right click or control click on the movies controller spec tab, the one that you're on.
Yeah.
This is RubyMine. It should pop up a menu and it will give you an option to split. There you go. And so now you can have the movies controller thing on one side and on the other. So we're doing here this get similar movies, which is going to which endpoint is that going to hit there? It's going to hit
similar movies. So
I can't see a similar movies method at the moment. So, but maybe the thing is, you've got where's the find similar movies?
Oh, that's because I'm looking at the wrong controller. Because I was looking at the book, and hang on.
But yeah, in principle, with the well, what's going on? There we go. Yeah. Okay. So here, right. Okay. So I mean, I think that the I could just tell you the answer, but maybe let's sort of step through it. What we've done. So the fact that you created movies on the database, that ends up being quite common for these sorts of tests. We can certainly look on Friday at how to do the other way around. But so you made the movies. Then in the context, what we've set up, we've done this expect movie to receive find similar movies with a 1, right? And then we do the get, and it comes in here. It comes in through similar movies. It gets to movies. So movies find similar movies. Params 1. That's going to work. I guess the key thing here is when you stub a method like this with expect movie to receive. Yeah. What's and I know Brent can't think about this. What's the side effect of stubbing something?
What do you mean? It may or may not happen.
It doesn't actually make the call to that. Should it be allow movie?
Well, that's So you've got options here. If you said allow movies to receive that, which wouldn't be much point. I mean, you could do allow movie to receive find similar movies, but then it wouldn't. That would just sort of in this context where assuming find similar movies is actually implemented, it's not going to have any impact whatsoever. It's just it doesn't actually buy you anything. If you're stubbing something, I mean, and usually you'd be doing, I don't know, maybe at this point, maybe you haven't implemented find similar movies on the movie.
Yeah, I have.
You have implemented it. Yeah.
The wrong one, hang on.
But
I've got the
anyway, either which way. I mean, the key thing here is that if you do expect movie to receive that thing, it's not that method. It's going to check that method is called, and also the method is not going to. It's going to return nil, which is what you're getting. So what you want at the end of line 17 is do .and underscore return. So go to the end of line 17. .and underscore return. Yeah, and then open your parentheses and then put at movies there. So what this means is that your stubbed method is now going to return what you want it to, and so you can basically be testing the behavior of the controller in the absence of the functionality of the underlying model.
Yep, I understand that now. Yeah, yeah.
That's probably where I was going wrong in the next one as well then.
Maybe so.
In where I don't supply a director. All right, so you're saying now that shouldn't be nil then?
In principle, I mean, of course, there may be other errors. I would certainly run that individual test again now and see if that works.
What line was that number?
21.
Is it 21?
Yeah. For the it block.
Oh, yeah, 21, yeah. Oh, there you go. God, I've been writing by bugs in here and there and looking through it line at a time.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very I mean, I think unless you know this, it's very difficult to kind of figure it out. So yeah, like and expect and allow, and they have, really what one is doing here is sort of a meta programming. Is that you're adjusting the behavior of methods and objects and so on the fly, and until some of the kind of the key ways of doing that via RSpec and their idiosyncrasies are just kind of in the forefront of your head. It's just you can spend hours thrashing. Really, it's
I have been already quite a few.
Yeah, it's one of the trickiest parts of the course. But yeah, I'm glad to be able to shed.
Well, thanks very much for that.
You're most welcome.
I'm going to work through those couple of chapters 7 and 8 again. And there's also that book. Is it the Noel Rappin book?
Yeah.
The
Rails testing book. Yeah.
I've got that now, so I'm gonna have to read through that book as well, because I've seen through the contents, and it talks about stubs and mocks.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to give that a read. But no, that explains where I was going wrong now.
You're excellent. We're glad we were able to help there, Brent. Yeah. So you're I think don't have any other issues blocking at the moment.
No, I'm not as far forward as Bill yet, so no, nothing more at the moment.
Okay, good show. Well, and yeah, do feel free to come into any Scrum this week, and I can give help and support. And then, of course, we'll have a more deeper look in the Agile Dev Model on Friday.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Sure.
All right. great stuff. Sorry not to be able to focus on your code, Alishan, but yeah, do jump into the async voter, and I can see if I can point you towards some code bases to compare your node code against.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye. Take care. See you all soon.
Bye.
Thanks very much, everyone. Have a good morning.